So because this is it's more than just a lecture, it's an interactive workshop, and we're doing practica. So we're going to be listening to each other, and I have copal burning, so I want to start.
Sorry, Rusita, can we hold 1 second? We're just making sure the
Sure.
interpreter is on.
Sure.
Thank you. Eric, can you turn on the interpretation function, please?
They go through.
Okay, we're good to go. Thank you, Rusita.
Okay. So I want to start with a prayer. Have my copal burning. As I say, we're doing ceremony, and we're having a plática talk. So I want to just say, primero con el permiso de todos los guardianos de esa área, de cada quien, de usted, perdimos permiso hacer esa ceremonia, estar en comunidad haciendo esta plática. So I'm asking permission of the guardians of this area where I'm at, where you are at, and of each of you, that we can be here together in community, to have this talk, to have this interaction, and be here together. And we have 2 hours. If people need to leave, I would request that you write in chat when you leave a couple of things. Let me put it in chat. We'll have a closing as part of our talk today. So you'll write what you want to leave and what you will take. So if you have to leave early, those are the 2 questions that I asked that you put in chat. Okay, so let me start with sharing the right. I think we have some extra mics on. Okay, so for so if you guys, everybody can have their mic off unless you're asking a question or we're doing a dialogue part. So thank you for everybody having that off. So let me share the screen, and I can make this PowerPoint available. I can give it to Alicia, and somehow you'll have access to it later. Okay, so so this is what I'm hoping we can cover today. Introduce ourselves, so everybody in the room be able to be here together in this time that we commit to each other these next couple of hours. Then I'll give a talk on grief and loss, and then we'll have a couple of dyads with certain questions, and then we'll come together as a group and talk. And the last thing we'll be talking about is symbolism and altar making and Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And so I want everybody to be able to share. If you don't have something special that you want to share, you can think of it and then tell us about it. But I made an altar here at my house that I can show you, and I'll show you some others. And then the last one is a closing circle, closing prayer. Okay. So I want to put us in dyads in rooms of 2 or 3, and I'll write these questions in the chat. But I want you to, you're going to introduce your partner, and I'm going to have us meet for 7 minutes. So your name, who is your family, important identities for yourself. Excuse me, someone you look up to, respect, and why. And name an ancestor or loved one in the spirit world that you honor and why. And the spirit world is the where when people have left this living world, then they are in the spirit world. And then you're going to introduce your partner. So I'm going to stop sharing. So great to see everybody who's here. Very excited. And when you introduce your partner, if you can stick to like 1 minute or less, just because of time. I see Alicia was writing the questions.
Did I get them all?
No, but it's okay. I just wrote this too, but thank you. Okay, so I want us to break out and into 2 or 3 people in a room with these questions in mind. And if you can listen to your partner, and then when we come back, we'll introduce each other. And a quick 1 minute summary. Okay. So.
All right, so I have you saying about 2 to 3 in each breakout room with Rusita.
2 if possible, but if you need to put 3, that's okay. And in terms of Spanish speaking, I'm not sure if you got all that, Eric, or you need something from the group, from each person.
For the so it has the option just to automatically assign everyone, to assign manually, or let people choose the room. So I think we need about 13 breakout rooms, or 12 breakout rooms with 2 in each, right?
Yeah, I won't be in a breakout room.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll do 12 breakout rooms, and okay, so 11. So there's 11 people, or I'm sorry, 23 people, and we'll do 11 or 12. So that'll put us at having one of them with 3. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Now, in terms of, monolingual Spanish or bilingual, is there a way to know that, or should we just go ahead and have those folks stay in the main room?
All right, so we can do let participants choose the room, and we'll assign the room number 1 to be Spanish. And so with interpreter, with interpreter. So then that way, if you want the interpretation, just choose breakout room number 1, and then everyone else, we're gonna have to choose now so that you can choose the right one. Does that make sense? Like we're gonna have to kind of number off, I believe, in order to, because otherwise you're just gonna have the option to jump in to the breakout room, and it might be 4 people choosing number 2 or 3. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, can everyone hear me okay? All right,
Yes.
so I think it'd be easy if I just number people off, since I can I don't know if our screens look the same as far as the names and how we're all tiled up, right? So if I can just go ahead and I'll go off from left to right on my screen and then number them off, and then I'll let y'all know what your room is. Is that okay with y'all? Yeah, okay. So just give me 1 second, cool. Okay, so okay, so who's gonna go with the interpreter? How many people are gonna go?
You want them to raise their hand, or what do you need them to do?
Yeah, can you raise your hand, please? You have the function at the very bottom. Okay. So far, I see one person raise their hand. Is there anyone else? Okay. So that's perfect. Alicia, it's going to be up to you to choose whichever room you want at this point. Cool. All right. And I'm sorry, what's your name that raised your hand? Okay, I see.
Pilar.
Pilar? Okay,
Ujú,
mucho gusto. Okay,
mucho
so
gusto.
sí entiendes que puedes escoger vas a escoger el cuarto uno.
Así, ¿cómo hago eso? Porque no entiendo. Eso sí no lo
Ahorita va a
entiendo.
aparecer la página y puedes nomás, te va a preguntar
Ok,
cuál cuarto y luego puedes poner nomás el uno, ¿ok?
muy bien.
Okay.
Ujú.
Alicia, actually, would you mind hopping in there so that she wouldn't be alone with the interpreter? Cool. All right. So now moving from there, we're gonna go down to, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna try to get everyone's name right, but it's Edminia? Edminia, yeah?
Herminia.
Edminia? Cool, wonderful. So Edminia and Marissa Rodriguez, yeah. So y'all would be number 2, breakout room number 2, okay? And then Denicia and Antonieta, Antonieta, yeah. Did I say that right? Denise,
Yeah.
and then, okay, and then Antonieta, y'all will be number 3. Breakout room number 3, okay? And then now we got Michelle. Michelle in the house?
Right here.
Okay, cool. And then we have Beva. Okay,
Yes, hi.
is that how you say your name? Beva?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and
All
who
right.
am I with? I'm sorry, I missed that. Room what? What's the room?
The room's gonna be number 4 with Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And now we have Olivia and Federico. Number 5. Does that work? Yeah, number 5. And Molly or Mali and Lochlin. Yeah. Right on. That's number 6. And then we have Vina. Did I say that right? Are they still
Yes. Hi.
on? Okay.
Which room?
Oh, Nina. Nina with Monica in room 7.
You got it.
And then we have Catherine Chavez and Chastity Salvador. And number 8. Does that sound good? Catherine? Are you, oh, okay, I see. And Chastity. Okay, cool. And that's number 8. And now we have Maya and Emily. Cool. And number 9. And then Dolores and Michael in 10. Y'all in number 10. All right, cool. Everyone clear? Good to go? Wonderful.
We have 30 participants. We have 30 participants, so I feel like maybe some didn't get assigned. I'm not sure.
How
Is there
about
any-
we let those folks who were already assigned jump into the rooms, and then we could assign more rooms
Yeah.
once that happens.
We'll do that right now.
So the breakout rooms have been created. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see breakout rooms. If you could click that and then go to the room that you were assigned.
And this is what.
All right, so I think these are all the folks except for Olivia who have not been assigned.
Eric, can you send me to group 1, please?
Hey, I don't know how to go into my room.
So on the bottom of the screen, you'll see that sign that says breakout room. Do you see that option, Libby?
No, I'm on my phone and it just has mute, stop video, share content, participants.
I'll assign you. What room are you going to?
5.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, gracias. That it?
Landis, you ready?
I sent Landis to her room. So I'm just gonna put you all in rooms and there's gonna be groups of 3. Okay. So Tabitha, I'm gonna assign you to room 2. Patricia, room 3. Janice, room 4. Crystal to 5. Sylvia to 6. And Gigi to 7. And Rusita, I'm keeping you here. Nice. All right. So there's going to be a couple breakout rooms, right, Rusita?
Yeah, there's a couple of times that we're going to do breakout rooms, so we can just keep them the same.
The same numbers as they are
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
right.
I mean, we can do the random assignment too. But if we want to keep the same people for the sake
Yeah,
of
let's just
what we're
keep the
doing,
same
okay,
people.
cool.
Yeah, that way that they don't have to think too much. I forget that not everybody uses Zoom like all the time. So I'm just like, oh, quick.
I know. And then how long, when do we want to bring them back?
It was supposed to be 7 minutes, so like in 5 more minutes maybe.
So at 6:34.
Yeah, or 35. So
6:35. So at 6:35, I'll close the rooms, or can you close the rooms?
Yeah. Landy's just asked about the questions. I was just
I'm gonna
copy
put
them.
them in right now.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah. Oops. Ooh. Okay.
Alicia, do you want me to I can send this PowerPoint to you just to your email. Should I do that? And then you can post it.
Send
or whatever.
it to, here, I'm gonna give you my email.
You can put it in chat.
I'm gonna put it in chat.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you a different email. I'm gonna give you the Abuela's Medicina one.
Okay. That's good. Eric, I didn't know it was you when I saw your name. It's like, I know you.
Yeah, that's funny. I was wondering if you knew. I was like, I don't know. You know, it's we have met before.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to come over again. We had on this past Sunday, we did a full moon ceremony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to come over again when we do something. But now I think, do I have your phone number? Now I have your phone number, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what-
So I'll invite you when I'm doing stuff.
Okay, cool. Sounds fun.
I'm gonna let them know that we're gonna bring them back in a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
I could see who's speaking in each room, which feels really weird.
That is kind of weird.
Thanks for just jumping into this, Eric. It's super appreciated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Are we ready? Do you? No,
They came back on their own, yeah.
I'll give it another minute.
1 more minute, yeah. Hello. We just put everyone in breakout rooms. I'm about to bring them all back. Oh, they all have 60 seconds to come back. So now we know to do that earlier. So everyone will come back in 30 seconds, Rusita, and then you could jump right in.
Okay. Welcome back. If you can, we're going to introduce your partner based on the questions. And if you can do it in a minute or less so that we're able to move on to the next part. So I'll just call on you, make it easier. We'll start. Patricia Corral or Patricia? Okay, then I'll move on. Go ahead. We can't hear you. Are you talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see.
Patricia, who's your partner?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
So do I introduce one partner or both partners?
Oh, you had a couple. Why don't you introduce one and the other partner hopefully will introduce the other.
Let's see. Where is she? Antoinette? Are you there? Was that her name?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Antonietta. Antonietta. Antonietta is from, her family is one part of her family is from the north in Taos and the other part from the south in Socorro. And she comes from people who work the land. And she's gonna be, oh, do I share who you're gonna be honoring?
Yeah, you share everything, yeah, unless they told you not to share.
Nieta's gonna be sharing, honoring her son who died during childbirth, during birth.
Thank you. And
Nieta,
who-
what was your son's name?
Francisco.
Francisco. Okay, Francisco.
okay. So then, who else was in your group? Patricia, who else was in your group?
What was her name? Denicia.
Okay, so Antonieta, can you introduce Denicia?
Denisia's from Messia. They are queer. She came from a family of homemakers, social workers, and farmers, and she's going to be remembering her grandmother Helen, whose name was also Maria Elena.
Thank you, Antonieta. And I'll introduce Patricia. She was talking about just different family members that she's going to bring into the room, losing a relative to brain cancer that started to her personality before she left this earth, and what it means, you know, like when some of our loved ones transition, you know, in illness and they can't necessarily, you know, have on this earth everything that they do. And that is what I remember from her intro.
Thank
Really
you.
quick, Eric, can you help Pilar get into the Spanish interpretation?
I'm on conversation with her, Alicia.
Okay, thank you, Landis. Sorry, go
problem.
ahead, Rusita.
Okay, so now it mixed the whole room up, so I'm not even sure. Okay, we'll go with Federico. Who were you in the room with? With Olivia and anybody else?
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, I was with Olivia and her two sons, Francisco and I think his name was Toribio. We had something in common about the ancestors that we decided to bring into the circle, and that is our abuelitas and how influential they've been and how much of an imprint they are and have been in our lives. And so that is who we decided to honor and bring into the circle, were our matriarchs.
Okay. Olivia, did you want to say anything about Federico that he shared with you?
Yes, Federico, he shared with me his beautiful relationship with both his abuelitas. And we also talked about like stories that he shared with them and how he got to connect to even the ancestors that he hadn't met, but that she knew, and how he honors them and he tries to embody them and represent them. And I thought that was beautiful. We had a heart to heart.
Okay, we'll keep going. See Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I had two partners tonight. First, I want to introduce Beba Sanchez Padilla. She comes from the Sanchez Padilla Chavez, and I didn't get the last one, Familia from the South Valley. She identifies as Chicana. in respects her mom, dad, brother, and best friend that she'd like to bring into the room tonight. She wishes that she had asked them so many more things while they were here, and sees how they were doing the best that they could all the time. So that's who she wanted to bring into the room tonight. And Janice Cardenas, Chicana, her ella, looks up to her abuelita because she's powerful, strong, persevered. She is classy and beautiful. And the ancestor she'd like to bring into the room tonight is Cristal Alvarez, who taught her so much and was very influential.
And can somebody introduce Michelle?
Yes, I'm happy to introduce Michelle. This is Beva. I got to speak briefly with Michelle. Esquivel, no? Esquivel? Yeah. Esquivel, she's from the family of the Esquivels and the McTeagues. She identifies as a queer Chicana. She has great respect for her grandma Nora because she was a good person. She created a safe space for her. She was very poised and articulate and calm and could operate under pressure. She wants her spirit that she wants to honor today and call upon is a relative by the name of Charlie Esquivel. And the way she put it was he was a boss, and she really is involved with developing her private practice, and she feels like she wants to call on him for advice in her business and her work.
Thank you. Maya? Got you eating,
Sorry,
Maya?
I'm kinda eating.
That's okay. It's okay. Who were you paired up with?
I was paired up with Emily, and I'm pretty sure they go by she, her, and they basically just trying to acknowledge their mom and praying for their mom, and also identifying as a dancer and talking about how they use their body to use that as like a form of healing. And yeah.
So Emily, you want to introduce Maya?
Yeah, hi. So this is Maya who just spoke. They use they, them pronouns. They really connect with their Sound Valley community. That's really their sense of home. They also identify as a creator and an artist. They use all different mediums like writing. They really look up to their grandmother who moved to New Mexico on her own, raised 3 different generations on her land, does ceremonies on her land. And they also like that she didn't need a man. Yeah, and they're honoring their great grandmother.
Hey, thank you. Crystal?
Hi there.
Who are you introducing? Who were you paired up with?
So I was with Olivia, and I forget the gentleman's name.
Okay,
And they
with
talked about their grandmothers, and this is my first time doing this, so I didn't really know how this was going to work. I was mostly watching. But
well, how
yeah.
about you? How about you introduce yourself, Crystal?
Okay. So I'm Crystal, and I live in northern New Mexico, and raising my granddaughter. My ancestor that I would honor is definitely my grandmother also. So it's funny that I was in that same group with them. She is beautiful and taught me so much. And then also my daughter passed away. So she is somebody I think about all the time, obviously. And yeah, thanks for having me.
What's your daughter's name?
Kayla.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Monica? Were you already in?
Hi, yeah, I was in the group with Nina and with Gigi. And I guess I'll go ahead and introduce Nina. And so Nina identifies she, her. She has a familia here and in El Paso. She's also has somebody with her who's wanting to listen, but a little bit shy. So they're in the plática también. And she wants to, we weren't sure, I wasn't sure, I guess I misunderstood. I thought we wanted one living person and one person in the spirit world, but we chose a living person. She honors as her mom, and one of them in the spirit world, or the ones in the spirit world, are her grandparents. She could have picked just one of them, but all the grandparents, because of their wisdom and their guidance.
Okay. And then Nina, can you introduce the other person in your group?
Hi there. Sorry, do I introduce Monica or Gigi or
Gigi?
So we have, okay. Well, I know Gigi actually from a number of spaces in the international district, and she has a mixed family and history, very beautiful with the Dominican and a lot, and I think Puerto Rican as well, and a lot of healing powers from different cultures from both sides of the family, which is very beautiful. And I know she does great work there in the community, in the healing still, and is working there in Española. And I apologize, I didn't take notes. I guess I kind of misunderstood I thought we were just introducing to one another and getting to know each other. So I'm bad with memory names. I hope that was more or less of what was shared, but thank you.
Okay. So I think we got everybody in that group, right? Miss anybody? Okay, Dolores? Who are you with?
Hi, so I'm introducing Michael. And yeah, I tried to jot down a few notes, but gosh, look at Michael's screen. The eyes just captivate you. So I'm like listening to him and his voice, and he's just got these wonderful things to say. So Michael, my apologies if I didn't get everything right, but I'm going to try, look, because you were just so interesting to speak to. So I got caught up in the moment. This is Michael, and Michael's just moved to Santa Fe by way of a short little stint in Ojo Caliente. And before that, just New York. And so he still has family in New York and some in Florida. But Michael, he's just, he has his soul family, his spirit family with him. And it's just like, oh yeah, that's what my daughters talk about when they talk about chosen family. I get it, Michael, because they taught me that. So he says he has them and he has his pets with him. So he's not alone, that Michael. He is, I believe, a carpenter. He found a job as a carpenter. And get this, Michael is an orchestral French horn player. Like, wow. It's like, whoa, you go, Michael. And the person that he looks up to is his French horn instructor in college. He was a role model. He was a mentor, and he just took Michael on with just the best of intentions and the best ways. And ancestor to honor is his Uncle Richard. And I believe I heard Michael say that he never met Uncle Richard, but he just knows that there's that connection with he just has that connection with Uncle Richard. There's Michael.
Michael, can you introduce Dolores?
Yeah, so I felt the same way about Dolores, very captivated by her smile and glowing eyes, and was really inspired by Dolores' sense of responsibility and integrity. Her family, she has lots of family, big family, but she like touched her body, and her family are her 3 daughters and her 4 granddaughters. And so a big part of her identity is being a grandmother right now and a Chicana, and something new that she's been taking on to her identity as well is a tia, in responsibility to her sisters, it sounds like, and their children. And yeah, I was just really inspired by Dolores's smile, and yeah, just real sense of maternal responsibility and duty to family, and while also clearly really having so much respect for her daughters and their paths, and the ancestors that she looks up to and also wants to honor are her parents, Maria and Sam. And yeah, it sounds like Dolores was very inspired by their balance of integrity and honesty, and as well passion. So yeah, thank you, Dolores.
Okay, Molly?
I was in the room with Lachlan from Ireland, and we both wanted to honor our biological fathers today.
Nice. And Lachlan?
I was in the room with Mally, and she is from Nebraska and Kenya, and she wanted to honor her father, and she has been doing a lot of connecting with the community and with nature.
Thank you. Catherine, were you introduced yet?
No, but I would like to introduce Chastity Salvador. She is from Acoma, born and raised, and she really looked up to her father, who was a hard worker, and shared his knowledge of hunting and farming with her, which was pretty awesome. She wanted her ancestor that she wants to honor today is her great-great-grandmother, who was a potter and had a beautiful garden. So she obviously had healing hands. She was 98 years old when she passed, so she lived a long, happy life.
Thank you. And Chastity? Can I introduce Catherine?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I was paired up with Catherine, and we talked about her children living in Los Angeles, I believe. And she looks up to them, her adult children, because they're awesome and a lot of great things. And she's in Taos right now. And yeah, is there anything else you
Okay. Pilar?
Buenas tardes, yo voy a presentar a Landis. Landis va a honrar a su abuela y a su madre. Y ella quiere tener ayuda para crear su altar, y ella quiere aportar el cariño que les tuvo a sus ancestros.
Gracias. Landis?
Gracias, Pilar. Pilar es una mamá, una persona migrante de México. Ahorita vive en Denver y estaba compartiendo que quiere honrar a su papá y también quiere honrar a un amor que falleció, que si hubiera estado aquí hubiera sido su esposo. Y ese amor lo recibí. Gracias, Pilar, por compartir eso. Y también poder honrar a sus ancestros durante este tiempo en este taller. Por eso llego aquí, por la tema de honrar sus ancestros. Gracias, Pilar.
Okay, I'm trying to see who else were in rooms together. Tabitha, were you in a room?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Yes, I was in a room with Erminia. I apologize, I butchered. Sorry. And then also with Marisa. And I caught the tail end of the conversation. So I feel like I was grateful to catch that Marisa is grateful for her Aunt Ruby, who she had the blessing of being able to be with towards the end of her life, which was pretty recently. And just the joy of seeing how many people her aunt loved and took care of, and just bringing her aunt into that space. And then Erminia also was grateful for their parents and all of the hard work that they did to take care of their family, and then also for their grandmother. Her name is at the tip of my tongue, but for their grandmother, who was very kind as well.
And Hermania? What's your grandmother's name?
Yes, my grandmother's name is Romy.
Okay. Would you like to introduce Tabitha?
Yes, it'd be my pleasure. Me and Tabitha have actually met before in Ailey, so let me go ahead and look at my notes quickly. So Tabitha's family is the King family. Could everybody still hear me? Okay. Tabitha's family is the King family, the Taylor family. They have roots in southern U.S. but they were born in Alamogordo. And the ancestor they're going to be representing today is their grandpa Joe, and who is also their godfather. He was a very caring, generous man, and was amazing at balancing both their identity of being Black and Latinx.
Okay, thank you. Trying to make sure we cover everybody. Is there anybody who hasn't, that was in a breakout room that hasn't introduced yet? Can you raise your hand? Okay, so then those that have not introduced yourself, if you weren't in a breakout room, that's okay. But now if you can introduce yourself. So if you haven't already been introduced, if you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I was in a breakout room and I was introduced by the people in my room, and they introduced each other too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anybody? Okay, so I know that Sylvia, are you there? You want to introduce yourself, Maestra? Okay, so we have who's okay, we have Yvonne. Did you introduce yourself or get introduced?
No, I'm sorry. I came in a little bit late today, but my name is Yvonne Sandoval, and I live here in Villanueva, New Mexico. And is there any other question I was supposed to answer?
Yeah. And someone you look up to and respect, an ancestor or loved one in the spirit world that you honor, and why?
My mom crossed over in July of last year, and she has just been my constant angel, and I'm grateful we've had such a beautiful relationship in her transition on this plane.
Thank you. Joanna, did you get introduced? It disappeared. Okay, Joanna, did you get introduced? Your mic's off. Joanna, your mic's off.
There. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, good. Well, I'm Joanna Salinas, and I live in Albuquerque, but my roots are in northern New Mexico. And unfortunately, I wasn't in one of those groups. It sounded really great. Sorry I caught on so late, but who I would most like to honor, who I've really learned about now through the past couple of years of the pandemic, are my parents, because they passed on, but getting to know my cousins, I have about 65 first cousins, and a few of them passed over COVID, but in speaking to a lot of them, they really brought to mind how important our ancestors are, supporting us, loving us, sending us inspiration, and I really feel it. I don't know what else to say other than I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay. Yvonne, did you get introduced? Yvonne? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now it's because you had that other picture. That's why I got confused. Okay. Never mind. Sorry about that.
My baby unicorn.
I'm all confused. Sorry. Carla, were you introduced? Carla? Oh, you're the interpreter. Well, you can still introduce yourself if you want. Okay. 1 plus. I don't know who that is. Okay. Javier, are you out there?
I didn't know it was me.
Introduce yourself, sir.
What's up? I'm just driving, like watching. No, but ¿cómo estás?
Good.
Yeah, pues my name is Javier, and I met Rusita through curanderismo class this summer at UNM, and wow, I met her through. I mean, I've been taking this class for like maybe off and on a few years now. I've been able to participate the whole session, as Rusita knows about my story. However, actually, this summer, you know what I'm saying, this summer, when I went to that class, we were actually going through a lot of grief, you know what I mean, a lot of mourning, because we had a sudden death of a relative, that resides in Albuquerque. And I'm happy you invited me here, sister. You know what I'm saying? I'm very proud of you. Continue doing your thing, reaching out to our gente in our community, always much love and my support. And I appreciate you. Thank you for all the things you do. And everybody out there that does whatever they can to help our people, help, in the struggle, our community, our indigenous peoples. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. By the way, on this beautiful Wednesday, long live our resistance and much love.
Thank you, Javier. We have Rox. Rox already get introduced. And then we have Lauren. Oh, Rox, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the space. I was a little late. Shout out to Maestra Silvia, who reminded me through text that this was happening. I use all pronouns. Someone I look up to. I want to name, there's a cottonwood tree in the Bosque that I have a lot of love for and have been singing with lately. So that's where a lot of my respect is targeted right now. And an ancestor that I want to honor is my tia Rocio. And just all people who we no longer have on this plane due to gender-based violence. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Lauren?
Hello. I arrived late. It was a long day. So who's my family? Important identities. I would like to mash up to someone I look up to and respect with my ancestor, my grandma. She passed away May 2020, and she was just such a badass. And I've always wanted to be like her. Oh, and my name is Lauren Padilla Garcia. I'm a high school English teacher.
Welcome, welcome. Zoni?
Hi, yes, Yat Eshe Zani Olivas, Sinishia Hashkadzo Nishle, Nakai Bashachi, Nakai Erashnalado, Sinjakina Erashache. My name is Zani. It's nice to meet all of you. That was my introduction in my Navajo language. And I am a grad student at the University of Arizona. And I'm also a program coordinator, so I work with Native youth. And someone that I would like to honor and remember who isn't in this plane with us are my grandparents, my Che and Amasana. They're both very near and dear to me. And they both kind of taught me a lot about my own spirituality and sense of self. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that hasn't gone? Okay, I'm gonna share the PowerPoint so that we can cover a couple of topics, and then we're gonna. Oh, Joanna, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, it just has your hand up. So,
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so so today we're focusing on our loved one in the spirit world. That's what we're focusing on. But I do want to just honor that there are a lot of losses that we would go through grief and loss process. And so it can be definitely death of a loved one, divorce, relationship breakup. Sometimes this feels like death when this happens. And loss of freedom, loss of innocence, trust when we're talking about trauma and abuse, sexual abuse, sexual violence. Sometimes this is what that's part of the loss, is the innocence, trust. Historical trauma, attempted genocide, colonization, racism, militarization. All of this is part of the DNA that gets passed on from our ancestors and through our bloodline of that trauma that has been, that our people have come from. Okay, Joanna, can you turn your mic off?
My phone's not working very well. The touch isn't. Let me see if I can. Where? How's that?
Okay. Okay. So security, income, job, home, especially with the pandemic, there were a lot of losses that folks experienced. And these were real. And sometimes, you know, these kinds of losses feel very close to us, very much survival, like our life is in danger because we lost our income or our home. Physical, chronic illness, limbs, abilities, dreams, fantasies. So something that we thought our life was going to look like and it goes a different route. So we need to still grieve those, the honor that we had those and grieve them, our old selves. And anticipated losses, like we know something's going to happen. If we know somebody has a chronic illness, then we're anticipating the loss, and that often degenerative illnesses where we start losing people little by little, like Alzheimer's is definitely one where, you know, our loved one doesn't remember us anymore. They lose different abilities, that kind of stuff. Oops, I went backwards. So grief isn't something you get over, it's something you go through. And we don't have to stop having a relationship with our loved one, even if they're in the spirit world. But we do have to grieve that they're not here in the physical world with us. And then our relationship changes. And for everybody, it's different. Grief is not a voyage from which people return, but rather a permanent place in which bereaved people must reside and redefine their lives. We do not experience a period of grief, come back, and return to life as usual. Instead, grief is a new homeland. Although life is permanently changed by an important loss, it is still possible to rediscover our potential for experiences that are rich and satisfying, if always a bit sadder. So Chicano, Mexicano, Latino, some indigenous cultures, we celebrate Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, that death is part of life, and that during this time, spirits return to earth to be with the living. We create altars to honor those who've passed on, and one of the symbols is the marigold flower, and that is a cempasúchil, and it leads the way for the spirits to come and join the celebration, and also leads the way back to the spirit world. The cempasúchil used to, back in the day, be used because of the smell, to be able, before embalming, to be able to like kind of cover the body. And there is a ceremonia for Dia de los Muertos, and it's private, and ceremonial leaders are the ones that lead those. You have to be invited. So that's a very specific ceremonia. Okay, so I want to show you, go ahead and show you the short clip. Stop share here. And the movie Coco is also a good depiction, but I'll go ahead and share. Let me find it. Have it up. Ugh. Let me find it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the short clip. Go back to here. And just watch it. I don't think it has any words. Okay, so that was just a quick video just to kind of show the culture and just an understanding of Dia de los Muertos and how we honor our loved ones that have passed and celebrate. And it's not always it's not always like, okay, now it's Dia de los Muertos, you're not going to cry, you're just going to laugh and have food and that kind of stuff. No, it's everything. It's like you get to have all those feelings, and it's like a safe place where we're gathering together for that. Okay, so I'm going to cover just a couple of more things, and then we're going to do some more sharing. Okay, so then, oops. I don't know where I went. Okay, let me try again. Okay, I'm share. Okay, no. Let me find it first. Okay. Okay, so this is a slide about just how the grief and loss cycle works. It's not linear, it doesn't go in a certain order, but these are feelings and stages that we experience when we have a loss. So there's denial, numbness, shock, that it doesn't feel real. We feel like our loved one is going to come in the door, we're going to see them at this place where we'd always see them at. And it might feel kind of dreamlike. So that's one of the stages. And physical distress, we have physical problems, sleep disturbance, chest pains, change in appetite. There's the protest stage where there's anger, depression, guilt, if only I had been a better daughter, if only I had not had that last fight with them, if only I had done this or that to prevent it, if only, that's the guilt. And sometimes too, we have survivor guilt. So especially if it's a traumatic loss, like a car accident, or something to that effect. Maybe we were survivor from it and they passed. It's like, well, what if it was, I wish I could take their place, or, you know, those kind of things get involved with that. The disorganization stage, this is the stage where we turn to whichever way that we learn how to cope with, even the unhealthy ways of coping. So alcohol and drugs, overeating, confusion, overindulgence in sex and affairs, withdrawal, lack of initiative. And then the reorganization stage is when we move towards acceptance and pleasure in remembering. Realistic memory of the deceased is developed, previous level of physical functioning. And then also we get a new meaning in life. So the thing about this is that, like, again, it's not an exact order. You don't do shock and then all this. Sometimes it's disorganization and then shock and then disorganization, the protest. It just goes in lots of different order. And different things are going to remind us of our loved one, different times of the year. So if we lost a child, different mile markers, like when our child would have been that age. So like, you know, elementary, first day of school, you know, 5th grade graduation, 8th grade graduation, graduation from high school, dates, prom, all those things. And then other times that we're going to remember our loved one, if there were family gatherings during the holidays, birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all of those different times that we're going to remember. And typically a month before the loss happens. So let's say, so like my dad died when I was 7 and it was in January. So in December, especially the first couple years after the loss, you go through the same grief and loss cycle. It just hits you out of nowhere. You don't know why you're angry or, you know, lack of initiative. And it's like, oh, this is why. Sometimes smell will bring back a memory. Sometimes a person, you know, it was hard to be around this person because they look so much like, you know, my friend who died, it looks too much like them. Or every time, you know, it's hard for us to be around each other because we just all in pain and brokenhearted, and all we do is cry, and it just feels like we're hurting. So we avoid people that remind us sometimes. Okay, so let me keep going real quick. Okay, we're going to skip this one. This one does talk about, oh, I gave the PowerPoint to Alicia, and so that she'll be putting it on to be able to access it. I'm not sure where she'll share it. Okay, we have 35 minutes left, and we're not going to be able to do all the breakout groups. So what I'm going to do, let me see. So I want to talk about the symbol and a little bit more about the los muertos. So let me see. Choose. Look at my background. Okay, so now I have none. And let me just see if I can use this because I don't have like a moving camera. So let me just see. I want to show you. Okay, so Alicia put in there to share your email so she could share the PowerPoint with you. So make sure to do that. Okay, so now I need to share my camera so I can see. Where can I do that? Let's see. So, oh, there it is. Okay, where am I at? Looking for myself. I'm in this page. Okay, so let me just show you my altar real quick. And then what I want us to do is each take a minute or less to tell me something about, like, if you brought a symbol with you, you can show it, pick it up, and just tell us a little bit about it. If you didn't, you can think of a symbol during this time. So there's my altar. Trying to get it all in. Okay, so I have different people on here, and I have the marigold flowers, the cempasúchil, and then we whatever the person did during life, we want to honor them enjoying it in death. So one of my tios, he likes to drink, so I have alcohol on the altar. One of my compas, he smoked a lot, so I have, you know, cigarette there, and so did my tia. So these are different people on the altar. The other things that we do with altars is we have the 4 elements, water, earth, wind, I'm forgetting all of them, fire. So those are what we have too. Okay, so I want to hear from you all. Again, if you brought a symbol, you can show it, a picture of somebody, and if you don't have a symbol with you, that's okay. You can just think of a symbol and what would you represent? So like I was telling you, like I had some like alcohol, or, you know, my dad was an artist, so didn't have enough time to put everything. He's also a barber, so I would have put like scissors maybe on there to symbolize him. So how about we go around? Everybody has a chance to say in a minute or less, like 30 seconds if you can, what would symbolize your loved one? Did anybody bring with you? If you didn't, it's okay. Or if you're at home and you can find something. If you have a picture of the person, who would like to start?
I could go ahead and start, if that's okay.
Oh.
Go ahead. Wait. Herminia, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So I brought this word search right here that I actually used in a previous shadow box for my grandma Romy on Dias de los Muertos. She always liked to do puzzles every time I visit her house, and whenever even I lived with her, she'd always be doing puzzles. And so much so to the point where I got my own nowadays to honor her. So yeah, this is the symbol I brought.
Thank you. And then there was somebody else who was saying, wanted to go next. Dolores? Sorry.
We didn't really do altars when I was growing up. I don't know. But I so respect people, and it just invokes such wonderful feelings. But if I were to do an altar for Mama and Sam, it would be one of my father's accordions. My father was very, very musical, and they met at a dance way back when. Mama loved to dance. They both loved to dance.
And how would you symbolize your mom?
With the music too, with that accordion, because she didn't play instruments, but she sang, she danced. And toward the end, one of our family talent shows, she learned how to play Silent Night on that accordion. So the accordion works for both.
Nice, nice. Thank you. Okay. Who would like to go next?
Yo puedo seguir.
Bueno.
Bueno, él es David. No sé si alcanzan a mirarlo. Él murió. Sí, murió. De la noche a la mañana murió. No pensamos que iba a morir tan pronto. Tenía 39 años de edad cuando murió. Yo pues tengo mucha familia también que ha muerto y como en México hemos siempre hecho altares, pues honrando la memoria de David y la de todos los muertos en mi familia, yo sí hago un pequeño altar en donde pongo agua, fuego, una veladora, flores y algo que pudiera hacerme recordarlos a ellos y también, pues para mí es un momento que guardo con mucho respeto y con mucho amor, porque no solo, para mí ese momento o en ese día mi padre viene, mis hermanas vienen, David viene y pues eso es lo que hago. Yeah.
Did somebody want to interpret for Pilar?
Oh, I could do it in English. I'm sorry. I
No,
thought, I
stop.
thought,
I think folks just didn't go to the interpretation route.
Say it again. Say it again, Landis.
I can do it in English so quickly. I said this is David. He died really young. I am from Mexico and I have several people in my family that are dead. So we always make altares or I have flowers and candles and of course David's pictures and well, water and something that he liked and yeah, so that's pretty much what I said. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar. Okay, who wants to go next? Federico?
Yes, thank you. All right. So, not sure if you can see. Let's see. See that. Can you guys see that?
We see it. You can go in closer to like show us
Yeah, so
more
this
detail.
this is my altar. I honor ancestors and friends that have passed, but I also honor my parents who are still around. I like to consider my altar like a giant tree, and so it helps me keep rooted and connected. I like to sit. I have remembrance, knickknacks, pieces of their identities. Just a little cotton from my aunt's ranch. And yeah, I sit and I talk to them and I can hear their laughter. I just remember it. And it's such a solid space that I like to hold. It's definitely something super sacred for me.
Thank you. Molly?
Hi. I just realized I have like pieces of art and things that were given to me all over the house, and now that they passed recently, like they hold different value. But there's one that's over my bed. I don't know if you can see it well. And then there's like these bowls that were made with the different animals. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael?
Thank you for this reminder of my altar. I just moved and I haven't fully unpacked yet, and I haven't set up my altar yet in my new space. And I think that's kind of a symbol of grief and loss. You know, we're so busy sometimes we don't take the time to really sit with our intentions and our memories. So yeah, I'm bringing to the altar a cigarette without a filter and a filter. And yeah, my Uncle Richard, he liked to party. And it benefited from maybe a little more filtering.
Okay, thank you. You kind of froze. Thank you. Maya?
Thank you.
So I actually have this like pillow, but it's like a blanket that turns into a pillow. And my great grandma gave it to me when I was 7 years old, before she passed away. And I sleep with it every night. I also wanted to say that I was gifted this sarape. I don't have it with me, but I was unintentionally using it to sell my artwork like on top of it. And I realized later on when my grandma had told me that it was my great grandma's, and I use it as good luck to sell my artwork.
Nice. So you take that energy with you. Thank you. Marisa?
I didn't bring them with me, but I know what I was using. I was doing for my aunt, and that's a picture she just passed on Friday. So, and that's her aunt that she used to call every day. And my daughter just said, I have a picture. But the symbols that I'm going to use will be knitting needles and yarn, because she passed of a form of Parkinson's that robbed her of being able to do those things that she loved. And books. There was some books that she never got to finish reading because she couldn't anymore. So yeah, that and my grandparents, my grandpa used to carry Skittles in his pocket. And so that was something that I knew that I would use for that. So those were my symbols that I'm gonna put.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Before we go on to Londi's, I just want to remind people, if you have to leave early, make sure to write what you want to leave and what you want to take. I know this is a very short, we only have 20 minutes left of this workshop, but I'm so glad to have you guys here and still in this space. So Landis?
Hi everyone, buenas noches. So what I have is this little notebook with the pen, thinking of my mommy who loved to write and journal, and all her pensamientos and recipes and little drawings, and I also accompany her with some of these, just like pumpkin seeds, the little semillitas, snacks, thinking of comida, and then thinking of my abuelita Catalina. She always had her velita, on in her room or wherever. And so this has been on in my home, and accompanying her is La Rosita. She loved roses and flowers, any kind of flowers. But I chose a small one because she was so short and cute and small. So thinking of those two people in the mix of the many ancestors that I have, but honoring them in this circle. Gracias.
Thank you. Joanna, did you go?
No, I didn't. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm currently doing an oral history of my father's side of the family with all my cousins and aunts and uncles. And I'm not home right now, but one of my cousins gave me this, and it's my parents at their wedding. So I'm collecting pictures and I'm recording stories and writing them down. So we'll remember the people that we love.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely legacy. Keep the memory alive. Beva? Okay.
I'm going to pass. Let me find and come back to me, okay, Rusita?
Yeah, for sure. Janice, if I say it right. Okay, Alicia?
Hi, great to be here with you all. I'm just thinking about my grandma a lot and my grandparents. And I'm bringing to this space like the thought of space and galaxies and everything that we live within. That brings me a lot of peace, and I hope it does the same for you.
Thank you. Zoni? Okay, Michelle? Crystal?
Sorry, I was a little late.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Turn on my video here. My symbol is the apple. I grew up on an apple orchard, and it was also the place where my dad and his siblings grew up. My grandpa and my great grandpa planted gardens and orchards there. And so when I do my altar and I remember that part of my family, I always put an apple on the ofrenda.
Thank you. Zoni? Saying your name wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Zani.
Zani?
Yeah, you were close. Yeah, it's okay. So sorry, I was grabbing my item when you called me the first time, but I don't know if people can see these, but these are a pair of sterling silver earrings. So my grandfather, he's from the Navajo Nation, and he actually was a silversmith. So he made these earrings. He gave them to my mom, and then she gave them to me. And whenever I, I'm having a hard time or I need to draw on some extra strength, like if I have to give a presentation or something like that, I always wear them, or I keep them with me. I'll put like one in my pocket. So.
Nice, thank you. Crystal?
Hi,
This is Mila.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
So are we supposed to show like the altar like you had, or just whatever?
If you have the altar or symbol, yeah.
Okay.
And my mama gave me this, and always gave me this.
Can I show them now? Is that okay? You want to help me?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my daughter that passed away. Mila's my granddaughter. And then my husband actually had painted that before we moved in. Here's a very special picture that my grandma had in her bedroom.
Yep.
And then okay, you can be part of it. And then this is just a little thing, because these Jesus pictures were my grandma's that she gave me. And there's my daughter's urn and some candles.
Yeah.
And that. And that's about it, right?
Yep. and
Thank you. Okay, Monica?
Hi, everybody. So I just picked up this little plant today, this little plantita. of the marigolds, and it's so beautiful and it's a living symbol. My grandmother was a florist, and she loved her plants, and she taught me all about plants. And but also she was really good with dead things. So we would go walk the river and we would pick up like old driftwood and tree knots and things that had been sitting in the river, and we'd pick up rocks and we'd come home and we'd like bleach them and make them silver and make them beautiful. So she did a lot of beautiful things with the dried flores and the dead things too. And this is my grandma and grandpa. And this is for my nephew's Halloween birthday party, and they're dressed as Count Dracula and the Little Wicked Witch, and they're so cute. But I miss them both so much, and I've yet to build my altar for the season, but I'm looking forward to building all that. And I have different symbols for different ancestors, and so they'll all get included this year. So thank you.
Thank you. Catherine?
Hi, my altar's in the other room, but I do have the picture of my parents that I have on there. And I have on my altar all my deceased relatives, cousins, uncles, tias, tios. I have my copal that I burn every night, and candles, and I have a couple of dolls of La Catrina.
Thank you. Rox?
I'll pass. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Tabitha?
Hi, yeah, thank you everyone for sharing their items. I would choose an elephant. Elephants are actually my favorite animal because of my grandpa, and he really loved them for their wisdom and their ability to remember things, and also how they also mourn their own loved ones and they come back to pay tribute as well. So yeah, definitely an elephant.
Thank you. Javier?
I'm just barely pulling up to my house, and let me see. Okay, hold on. 1 second. Well, can I explain it to you?
Yeah, just explain is fine.
All right, so hold on, let me try to hit this camera real quick. I'll just do this real quick. How do I flip this camera? Hold up. So, got my little altar set up right here. I don't have a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know what I mean, the little bit of space I have. But I do have a few things that have a deep meaning, the elements pretty much. Leave a little bit of pinole, some cacao, and got my feathers, got Quetzalcoatl over here, the little clay flute from Teotihuacan. And oh no, that's an ocello, that's a jaguar right there. And then I got me a Quetzalcoatl right here. If I play this real quick, watch. Let me play this real quick. If it's cool. So I don't want to take too much time, but let me do this real quick. See if you can hear it. So anyway, before I get carried away, I have that, and I have Cuauhtemoc, one of our last, one of the, for those that don't know, he was one of our last leaders, you know what I'm saying? One of our last leaders, native leaders from the Mexica Tenochcas, from the ones who led he was one of the ones that continued the resistance, after everybody was being wiped away. So anyway, before I get into that, like, I got some of my artwork right here, representing Tonantzin, Quetzalcoatl. This is on a printed canvas. I got El Gran General that was given to me from one of the sobrinas of General Zapata. And, I got some of my relatives right here that are no longer with us. You know, so yeah, that's something I carry, and there's one of my friends right here that passed away, um, last year, as a matter of fact. I didn't even get a chance to go to his funeral. I don't know what happened to him, but I know his mother passed away, and as well as this young brother. I got the General Mia General Zapata, and I have a few other stuff, but yeah, I just wanted to I didn't want to take too much of the time to explain it, but that's what I have. I don't yeah. So I'll just make it, try to make it short, but that's pretty
Okay.
much what I have. Mhm.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you. Eric, I know you were tech, but I wanted to include you if there was anyone you wanted to talk about or share an object.
Well, I don't have the item with me, the object, but it's a teapot that I got my mom whenever I was out of the country and had sent it to her on her birthday. Mother's Day. They're always close, so I forget which one. But the whole point of it was like it's a pot that I guess you're not supposed to wash with soap or anything. You're supposed to like you just infuse it with the teas and then you just wash it out with water. And supposedly it's supposed to like create this like film that adds to the tea flavor, whatever you put in over the years. So I was like, oh, that's neat, like it's a Quest product or whatever. The idea was like when I gifted it to her was saying that as time goes on and as life goes on, our relationship will change flavors essentially, but the essence of it will remain the same. It being the container, the teapot, the times that we would sit down and just talk. So yeah, in essence, it was a lot of the evolution of our relationship. And so when she passed 3 years ago, you ask yourself like, how is this going to evolve now? How am I going to go forward now in life and stuff? And it's interesting because in many ways it has continued to evolve and change. She still whispers in me or whispers to me with either a butterfly that lands on my shoulder or something while I'm thinking about her, or the blowing of the wind, the passing of the trees, or whatever it might be. I wasn't expecting the relationship to evolve in this way, but I'm very happy that it has. And yeah, I'm grateful to have had her, and that's all. But yeah, many blessings to all our loved lost ones for sure.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate it. And how we still get to have our loved ones, like I was saying, even though they've left this world, that we still get to have a relationship with them now that they're in the spirit world, and how that shows up, and those reminders, like you're saying, you hear her, or the butterfly, a lot of different ways that our loved ones show us, and that they're with us. We carry them always, get to have them. We have about 3 minutes. I know that, I don't know if the Zoom will just end. I know people have different, obligations. I want to respect people's time, but I can stay later. Or we can have people just write it in chat, what your symbol is. That way we make sure everybody is heard and everybody can see it. If you guys would like to. The Zoom will continue past 8. Okay, so for those who have to leave, it's okay. If you haven't had a chance to share out, you have to leave, make sure to put that in the in the chat, and also the questions of what you'll leave and what you'll take with you from this workshop. Okay, so I'm going to just keep going down the list how I see it. And for those who haven't gone yet, Locke, did you want to share?
Everyone. So I'm a bit loopy tonight. I just had a blood donation. The symbol I have, I'm not at home. I'm actually at my parents' house. But my father used to ride his bike to the base, and he'd always talk about seeing the coyotes. He's actually got a picture of a coyote up on his wall. And I never used to run across coyotes, and ever since he died, I see them all the time.
Thank you, Locke. Thank you. Denicia?
Hi, everybody. My grandma used to have an owl that lived right outside her house. So at some point I got her and me these matching little onyx owls. So I'll have that on my altar this year. And then also I was just drawing from my oracle card as I sat down with all of you, and I pulled divine love for tonight. So sending that to all of you.
Thank you. Antonetta? Antonetta?
Hi, I have, hold on, sorry. One thing that I won't show is what they gave me in the hospital when I had my baby was a hand and foot cast, and I have pictures of the baby that passed. But one thing that's also very special is, how do I? My daughter made this really tiny painting, and it's like exact. This is like a really small, it's like so impressive that she did this meditation when she lost her brother. So yeah, that's on my altar.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. I hope I don't, I didn't call on you. Maya, did you go? Yeah, Maya went. Okay, let's see. Is it Gigi? Or is it Gigi? Okay, Tabitha?
She went already.
Okay. Carla? You did go,
I
Tabitha.
actually already went.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's hard. I haven't been keeping very good tab. Carla, did you go? That's our interpreter. Sylvia? Barbara?
Hi, thank you. Hello, everyone. So many beautiful shares. In my altar, what I have is I always keep a picture of my great-grandparents and my grandparents near. I've always felt very close to both set of parents in my life. Definitely feel like my grandparents have been my parents in many ways. I was very close to my grandmother. So I keep things around that remind me of her. She was a seamstress. She loved to sew. So I always keep pieces that she sewed. She loved perfumes. So I always keep perfumes around, and flowers. I keep flowers and water in my altar. Another symbol that really reminds me of my grandmother are birds. I feel that she communicates to me very often through birds. And so I also have a lot of pieces of her jewelry that she would wear. I wear them often, or I will keep them in my altar just to honor her. Also, she loves sweets. She has such a sweet tooth, so I would keep little candies and things like that she was into. So yeah, thank you so much. That's what I would love to share tonight.
Thank you. Chastity?
Hi, can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, so I've been, while we were talking, working with some of the seeds that I grew. And seeds remind me a lot of my great grandmother that was mentioned before, because she did have a garden in her backyard here in Acoma. And I just think that's super neat that she was growing like carrots and beets and veggies while all the men were growing corns, beans, and squash, that she already had that fierceness about her. So yeah, let me show you the seeds that I've been working with. Oh, that's not them. That's me. These are some of the seeds. They're all beans that I'm drying out. Every time I do seed work, I think I might trip. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. 1 plus. Okay. Okay. So I want you to take a couple minutes to write and chat what you want to leave here. Maybe no longer serves you. Just want to, yeah, there we go. And then what you want to take. And I'm going to just say a little closing prayer. So I want to honor and thank you for being here, being willing to be vulnerable and share a little bit part of you, very special part of you that, may have been some heartbreak, some pains, a joy. Wait, do I close at 8:10? I'm not sure. So I'm not going to close now. I got a message from Alicia. Can we close at 8:10 for interpreter time energy? But I kind of started. So I'm going to just keep going. So again, thank you. Thank you all for being here. I want you to know that this is just one part of this journey. I encourage you to check out the PowerPoint that we didn't get through all of it. There was a couple of videos that are pretty cool. And if you need to contact me or if you want to do further work around this, I'm available. There's also events in the community, the Muertos and Marigold parade celebration happening at, I think it's Gutierrez house. I'm trying to remember. Is that where it is? Hubble House, right? Gutierrez and Hubble House. Okay. So, and I don't know if there's still any art workshops, but definitely there's things out in the community to do, be part of. And this is the best special time of the year to be honoring, but I know that we honor our loved ones all the time. So I just want to leave with, just a couple more words of luz, paz, amor, conciencia y armonía. Gracias. That's it. You can go.
Thank you, Rosita. Gracias, Carla, for the interpretation. For everyone on the team.
Yeah.